Welcome to the world of online code hosting, also referred to as online source code repositories. My name is Bob Giordano, and the topic of this training module is how to get started with Bitbucket. There are several open source software hosting facilities on the web such as Bitbucket, Codeplex, Google Code, JavaForge, and many others. Let's quickly cover a list of terms that will be helpful for this tutorial. Repository, a storehouse, in this case web-based. DVCS stands for Distributed Version Control. Git and Mercurial are examples. Source code is any collection of computer instructions, possibly with comments, written using some human-readable computer language, usually as text. GUI, graphical user interface. Clone, a copy. IDE, integrated development environment. This is used for coding. NetBeans and Eclipse are examples. This tutorial is meant as an introduction and setup overview only. It has been designed for the novice coder and is intended for people with no prior experience with online repositories. After completing this tutorial, you should understand what an online repository is, how to start using Bitbucket, and an overview of its uses. Bitbucket is an online open source code repository. A repository is basically a web-based storage location for source code to be uploaded and shared with others. This code can be uploaded, shared, and modified. So now that you have a basic understanding of Bitbucket and its purpose, let's get started. Installing and using Bitbucket is quick and easy. Even a novice computer user can learn to do it. You will need a valid email address, a new username and password ready, a computer running Windows 7 or higher, enough space on your hard drive to install a DVCS, which is approximately 15 megabytes, and an integrated development environment like Eclipse or NetBeans running on your computer. For this tutorial, we will be downloading and installing Git for Windows. First, navigate to bitbucket.org and click on Sign Up. You can use an existing Gmail account to sign up with, or fill out the required information. Outstanding! You now have an account for hosting source code to Bitbucket. Now we will download the DVCS Git on your computer. To use Bitbucket, you need to install a DVCS tool on the computer where you write code. DVCS stands for Distributed Version Control, and the two most popular DVCS solutions are Git and Mercurial. Both Git and Mercurial are small programs that act as a go-between for your computer and the repositories on Bitbucket. You will import source code saved on your machine to either Git or Mercurial, and then push it to an online repository you will create that is hosted on Bitbucket. The choice to use Git or Mercurial depends on your needs. Here are the benefits of Git. You can commit objects that are immutable, the ability to view which commit the changes to a file came from, version history can be retroactively edited or cleaned up, and the ability to commit only partial changes. And the benefits of Mercurial: more secure commit history, more GUI options, easier to learn, better cross-operating system support. The code programmers write changes often. Bugs need to be fixed, features need to be added, and content needs to be changed. Most code is stored as plain old text files, and the code is changed by editing these files. Every time a change is saved, the old version of the file is overwritten with a new one. Unfortunately, no programmer is perfect, and sometimes mistakes are made. If you make a change to a file, save it, compile it, and find out that something went wrong, it's often helpful to be able to go back to the old version or to get a report of what was actually changed in order to focus on what may have gone wrong. That's where version control systems come in. Distributed version control systems, DVCSs, do not necessarily rely on a central server to store all the versions of a project's files. Instead, every developer clones a copy of a repository and has the full history of the project on their own hard drive. This copy, or clone, has all of the metadata of the original source code. Whether you code for a living, for school, or for fun, knowing how to use an online repository is a skill that is invaluable. Instructors expect you to know how to use this, as well as potential employers. For this tutorial, we will download Git for Windows. You will open a browser and go to the Git download page. Next, select the Download tab and save the appropriate version for your operating system. When the download has completed, click Run to start the installer. The Git setup wizard will be displayed if you have downloaded the program successfully. Press Next to move to the next page of the wizard. The setup displays the licensing agreement. Press Next to accept the license agreement and continue. For this setup, use all the default setup values recommended by the installer. To accept all the defaults, press Next on each page of the dialog that comes after the license agreement. Press Finish on the final page of the dialog to complete the installation. Great job! You have now downloaded and installed the Git DVCS. Now that you have a Bitbucket account and have the DVCS Git for Windows installed on your machine, you can write source code on your local machine with an IDE and save it to Git. Then open a browser, navigate to bitbucket.org, log into Bitbucket, and create a repository. Finally, push the source code from your Git repository into the new repository on bitbucket.org. If you choose to, you can share this code with other people, instructors, employers, and all of you can modify the code if desired. The original source code is saved on the repository, and all of the forked or updated code is displayed. Let's review. You wrote code on your machine, saved it to the go-between program Git, signed into Bitbucket, uploaded the code to a named online repository, and then shared it. Congratulations! You are now ready to share your code with friends and colleagues.